Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since my last video, but as always, my name is Yami, and in today's video, we will be adding another keyboard to our collection. Today's keyboard is a budget-friendly 65% keyboard from YUNZII. I am a huge fan of YUNZII, so I'm so excited to add this to my collection. So without any further delay, let's get right into the video. So this is a YUNZII AL68, and as I mentioned earlier, it is a budget-friendly keyboard. It is a 65% layout. It is fully aluminum, which is really nice. So first thing we see in the box is a quick guide, which gives you basic information about the keys. Of course, this is also in different languages. You also get a manual, which is really nice. This is kind of giving you a little bit more extra information about the keyboard. We also have a box with accessories, and inside of that, we have a Type-C cable, a switch and keycap puller. We also have some extra switches. These are the YUNZII Cocoa Cream V2 linear switches. And lastly, we also have some additional keycaps. These are in a blue shade, which adds some color to the keyboard. The YUNZII blue-gray tactile switches. These were sent over for me to test out, which I'm really excited about. Now let's take a look at the keyboard itself. So the first thing that we have is actually a plastic cover. You guys know that this is amazing to have in order to protect your keyboards. For this time around, I decided to opt for the silver color because YUNZII is only offering two colors, which are silver and black. My first impression about the keyboard is that the casing is actually very smooth, which I do appreciate. You do have a good size knob, which is really nice. It doesn't click when you rotate it, but it does click when you press down. I think my overall favorite part about this keyboard is the back plate. It is such a beautiful design. It's kind of very simple, but it also adds a nice touch to the quality of the keyboard itself. I love to see this because not many budget keyboards do anything with the back plate. They usually just kind of leave it blank, but I definitely appreciate that. Moving along with the exterior of the keyboard, we do have double shot PBT keycaps, which come in this white and gray color. As I mentioned earlier, we do have extra keycaps, which we can shift out to add some color to the keyboard itself. But the keycaps are a little bit on the thinner side, so it definitely will not add any thockiness to the board. Additionally, we do have tri-mode connection with this keyboard. This can be used either Bluetooth, wired, or wirelessly. Moving on to switches, we do have the YUNZII Cocoa Cream V2 linear switches. These do have a operating force of 50. I will say they are not entirely my favorite switches. I think that if I had to choose, I would definitely go for the milk switches. That being said, here is a quick sound test of the switches. Let's talk a little bit about the stabilizers because I think that these are actually quite perfect. They sound really, really good. I've done absolutely no modding to them whatsoever, and I feel like there's no ping. You can't hear any rattling. Take a listen. Before moving on to the sound test, let's talk a little bit about the pros and cons of this keyboard. The pro is definitely the budget. You can buy this keyboard on Amazon for less than $90, which is really great. Secondly is going to be the actual backplate. As I mentioned before, I absolutely love the backplate. I think one of the biggest pros about this keyboard is the fact that it is actually QMK and VIA compatible. So if you need to reprogram any keys, you are able to do that. Moving over to cons, I think one of the biggest cons are definitely the switches. I am not a fan of these. I feel like they're a little bit more stiffer, and I personally don't like that as someone who types away all day. I think that if you have the chance to get these with the milk switches, definitely do. Overall, I have been enjoying the keyboard over the past few weeks. I think that initially, as soon as you take it out of the box, it does sound pretty good. I feel like it does have potential. If you do switch out these switches as well as keycaps, they have potential of sounding a little bit more thockier and creamier, which is the type of sound profile that I tend to go over. I also like the fact that the stabs sound really good. I think that there's really little to no modding needed for the stabs. I also believe that YUNZII did a really good job at ensuring that this keyboard is compatible with QMK and VIA, because those softwares are really important to remap keys if that is something that you like to do. I think that that is a huge advantage because not many budget keyboards are compatible with those softwares, but this one is. Without any further delay, let's get into the sound test.